As the Conservatives arrive in Birmingham for their party conference, a brand new party is going to be looking to hold its very first conference. It's called the We Demand a Referendum Party, and the former UKIP MEP for the West Midlands, Nikki Sinclaire, is part of the new group and joins us on the line now. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
What's the difference between this party and UKIP? Because both of them want a referendum.
Well, the Lib Dems actually called for an in-out referendum in their manifesto in the last election. We are a pro-referendum party. It's a single issue. Unlike UKIP, that have many other different issues, and who have been around for 20 years and have actually failed to deliver in delivering a referendum or withdraw from the European Union.
So why are you any different then?
Well, what we're seeking to do is actually appeal across the political spectrum, and we will demand a referendum of David Cameron. Unless he gives us a referendum or enables one by the 1st of January 2014, we will put that term on the ballot paper in 2014. We demand the referendum. So what we will be saying to the population, look, all the politicians have failed us on the European Union. It's up to you to decide. Let the people decide. We want a referendum. And the hope would be that it would be such a protest vote. And in a recent YouGov poll, it was said that up to a third of people would take this option, that would push David Cameron to put in an in-and-out referendum on the 2015 Conservative manifesto.
But you were part of UKIP, so you were part of the party that didn't succeed. So how's it going to work now?
And part of my frustrations with UKIP and why I left is because they didn't deliver. Look, in 1 year of being independent of UKIP, I delivered 120,000 signatures to Downing Street, which forced last year's debate. That was me in 1 year. What has UKIP done collectively with 12 MEPs? Since UKIP's been in existence, they have had £43 million of public money. What one achievement have they had? But look, it's not about UKIP. It's about us, the people, whatever, because we don't have any other policies, and UKIP have many policies, some rather nasty policies, which one of the reasons I left. It's not about that. This is one single issue. We want a referendum. We demand a referendum. Nothing else matters. This is the cog in the wheel.
But isn't that quite limiting to you as a political party to have a single issue?
Election. No, we're only going to stand in the European election. We're not going to stand in general elections. We're not going to stand in council elections. Okay, we are only standing in the European election, where the only issue should be the European Union.
You were quoting a poll, the YouGov poll. What was the percentage of people who wanted a referendum on this?
Well, we're publishing in the UN say 62% want a referendum, 3/4 of Conservative voters want a referendum, 56% of Labour voters want a referendum, even 30% of Liberal Democrats want a referendum. And that's why we're appealing to across the political spectrum. We're not right-wing, we're far from right-wing. We even actually welcome pro-Europeans, because there are pro-Europeans. Look, most of your listeners will be sick and tired of, the debate about Europe. They feel annoyed, they feel frustrated that successive political parties, all the main political parties, have promised them referendums. They've put their trust in UKIP, who have done very little, to be honest. And so what we're enabling to do is put a strong voice in 2014 to say to the government and to say to all the mainstream political parties, you've let us down. We, the people, demand a referendum. And that's what they'll be able to do. And the YouGov poll that I quoted earlier said that up to 33% would take that option.
OK. Thank you very much. The former UKIP MEP for the West Midlands, Nikki Sinclaire, forming a new party, We Demand a Referendum.